Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Age of Fear 3 The Legend with me, Cornish-Knight. Now, this is going to be a rather unusual video. This is gameplay footage of this particular battle, but it demonstrates one of the all too common risks of updating gameware. You can always but make bugs appear when you're not expecting them, and this particular piece of gameplay footage is just to show off that fact. Now, in this particular battle, I am in control of both the human fighters and my own dwarf forces, and my plan was rather straightforward. It was to capture one of the enemy dryads because I can bribe them. Once I've captured one of the enemy dryads, I'll have a unit that can automatically heal my people, which is very nice. I did not think it was going to be a particularly challenge. Well, I say that to catch the dryad, I thought it was going to be a bit difficult, and as such, I was positioning my forces in such a way that I could, pretty much bum rush the nearest one, try and grab her, and then fall back to make a defensive line. And for the most part, the plan actually worked out rather well. It would have been a rather stable, tactical decision on my part, playing to the dwarf's weaknesses and strengths. You don't really want to be on the offensive with the dwarves. Not lying, you really don't. You want to. Oh, you don't want to be on the offensive. So if I said defensive, you really don't want to be on the offensive with the dwarves. You want to hold a nice location, set up a good field of fire, and just whittle them down quickly. That's how you win with the dwarves, which is, I know, rather stereotypical, but it works. Okay, you see someone's in a bunch of my enemy allies. The enemies come up, and this is where the first bug pops up. Now, I suggest, well, to all of you who've played the Age of Fear franchise, you know for a fact that nets tend to last between 2 to 3 turns, and then they will disappear. I suggest you keep an eye out on just how long Gilrock has his particular net on him. And I wonder how quickly you guys will realise what the bug is. Right, we've got a dire bear, some basic wolves. Dire bears are nasty. We've got bears themselves, which are pretty damn nasty. We've got ents. We've got a whole host of other stuff. Since I only want to catch one of the dryads at this point, I'm just trying to kill off as many of the enemy units as possible. I didn't realise I could get multiple shots off with the lightning gun, and my brain was not really working fantastically well. So I'm going to just play past it. I'm going to burn this bear with flamethrower. Gilrock takes a little bit of damage, but just how it is. I'm going to kill off this bear as quickly as possible. It always hurts me when I'm playing these games, and you have a really good run, and then you can't. Well, you have to redo it at some point. It's just like, it's frustrating, especially when it's with bugs. Right, let's go this way and fire for fireball. The problem with ents is that they regenerate health, so they're massively a pain. In all honesty, if I was smart, I would have focused fire down enemies that didn't regenerate, because it meant that I would have been able to clear out some of the enemy forces, which is something that I will learn for next time. When it comes to regenerating enemies, unless you can kill them in one turn, it's pretty much not worth attacking them. Well, I suppose in all honesty that's not true. I mean, if I'd really hammered the ent to the extent where it had like 1 or 2 health bars left, it wouldn't have been able to regenerate fully. Because they only get like 1 or 2 health bars back. At least I was making the dryads and stuff burn up valuable. Ooh, that's not nice. The wolf charged me from behind. In some ways, hurting units are useful, just purely to do with the fact that you can make enemies use up potions and everything, which is always pleasant. He goes down from basically being mauled by bears. Wyverns turn up. the entanglement from the ent kicks off. Right, so at this point I still haven't noticed that anything is wrong. I'm still just under the impression that there isn't anything actually wrong with the particular gameplay, so I just keep going. One thing I will notice is that the summoned units don't have morale, which is pretty annoying. I don't know if that was the deliberate thing because they're summoned units. Right, so let's set this guy on fire.
Need anything?
I'm not so worried about burning up Gilrock because he has high defense stats at this point.
No problem. Anything needs repairing?
Take a nice bit of whack out of him.
On
Kill off that wolf.
Do you need my stuff?
Hit those guys again. Get a nice amount of damage up.
I'm small but heavy.
Missed. Managed just to kill off that ent, luckily, which was really useful. I still haven't noticed, like, at this point in the game I hadn't noticed that the bug was already in effect, so I'm still going along the fact that I'm still trying to conduct my operation to kidnap an ent. Well, kidnap a dryad.
Here's my message.
If only I had known how wrong I was.
Coming. They won't notice.
Yeah, at this point again I make the mistake of targeting the dryad. I should have probably just focus fired down the bears, but the dryads heal, so it's not the best combination in the world. We managed to kill that one off, which was good.
Very clever.
Right. Move this dwarf up, hoping to try and distract some of the units. He gets poisoned. He gets poisoned. So does he. Wyverns, don't you just love them? He gets killed. The humans are basically falling apart. The reason I went with the dwarves was that I couldn't see the dwarves like supporting nature in any of like any of like traditional tabletop like lore that you read about. Dwarves never side with nature. They're much more industrialist. I mean, it's the whole reason the dwarves get into the trouble with the Balrog and Lord of the Rings is that they dig too deeply and too greedily.
Oh, I like my rifle.
Nasty miss.
Reload.
Need to deal with that dire bear coming up.
Very funny. Very funny.
Kill off that one. It's going rather well at this point, though I am starting like to question why. Yeah, I didn't mean to actually do that. I wanted to see what his charge range was. I meant to move my wizard out of the way. It doesn't happen, and I'm there thinking, oh dag nabbit, I've got a squidgy mage about to get pounded in the face by a dire bear. So at this point, my character, I'm desperately trying to figure out ways to win. Still haven't figured out that I've lost. Also, my the bug has taken effect. So I'm still thinking this. Oh, this is going rather well. I've got all my units still in play. All my core units are still in play. I should be able to win this without too much issues. The NPC characters are going down. I don't know what happened with that guy there. He was supposed to have died, but he resurrected or something strange. That guy got eaten by a bear. This guy gets netted. He breaks, but he can't move. The Ent moves up here to kill him. which is in some ways really useful. There's a whole bunch of really weird bugs going on here. There was stuff like the poison wasn't disappearing from units. Like that bear sort of gone down to 3 health bars of health rather than what it was.
A little bit higher.
I hope that this fireball kills off this wyvern, as I was going to charge my character, but unfortunately it doesn't, which sucks. Hopefully he won't be in range. So anyway, I get my character to drink the beer, and it's sort of like it's fantastic, and there isn't any problems, and you get drunk dwarves stumbling about and falling into bear traps. I charge out the healer out here, hoping that it's going to distract the wyvern. And none of these other units can do anything, so there's not a lot for me to be concerned with. So all we can do is press on. And hope that my mage doesn't get tanked. Right, the wyvern turns up, takes a chunk out of the Tesla gunner. The cleric gets killed by an ent. These guys get tied up. I still at this point have not noticed the bug. I'm sure the rest of you have noticed. This is when I start to suspect. I was sort of wondering, why is it taking so long for these nets to come off? Come on, like how many turns you got? Like turns left for these nets to be on. So I'm going through looking at, yeah, ensnarled, 1 turn. I thought, okay, fine, it'll be 3 next turn. That was not the case. The bug in question, as I'm sure you've also noticed with the dwarf who fought the end, who is still stuck, meant that abilities like ensnarl and entanglement, which are like movement penalty abilities, meant that they were stuck on permanently, which rather sucked. I think you can agree, when I've got now 5 of my party unable to move at all. They can't move at all.
Oh, sure.
I'm starting to suspect that something is going on, especially after this turn, where the units don't become untangled. But there's not a lot I can do. I just thought, oh, dagnabbit, something's happened. Something's happened with the game. I'll just try and win the battle then the best way I can, which is just to kill stuff. It was annoying, I'm not going to lie. I was rather frustrated because I'd gone to all this effort to deliberately hamstring my own forces to try and capture a dryad, and she's just standing there out of range, being a massive pain. A part of me still hasn't quite figured out that this is like a really serious game-breaking bug. So I should have like targeted the dryad. To be honest, I should have just targeted the dryad, killed her off, and everything would have been fine. But I didn't, which is annoying. He gets entangled, so now that guy can't move. Bear moves up. Wyvern moves up. The rest of the dryads move up. Yeah, at this point I'm really starting to suspect that something's gone wrong. So there isn't a lot I can do. I suppose I could have tried chugging something like one of the beers, but I didn't think about it at the time.
Magic, as always. Check my spell. Need my stuff.
Cracked the ent's head wide open.
Gotcha. Do you like my
That's it.
Oh, I like my
Missed, it's a shame.
Do you like my rifle?
The problem is I got some really lucky hits off, so I'm actually rather annoyed that this this game turned out how it did. Rather annoyed indeed.
I'm not drunk.
Yeah, I'm just like super peeved at this point, because I figured out that the game is basically broken, that something's gone wrong, so I'm not particularly happy about it.
Anything needs repairing.
But there's nothing I can do, unfortunately.
Read on. Oh, I like my rifle. Do you like my rifle?
And I was just hoping just to win the battle now.
At the ready.
But as you can see, it's not great. I've got 5 of my units unable to move, so I can't reposition or anything.
Yes, master.
I killed the bear. I should have just charged, to be honest. I should have just charged my rest of my warriors in at this point. I mean, I'm still quite salty as I'm playing at this particular moment. It's like, I went for all this effort to try and capture this dryad, and it's just not turned out. So I thought, fine, okay, let's just try and get out of here and just complete the mission. I'm just desperately trying to get out, but I suddenly realised that most of my units can't move.
My power is yours.
Very funny.
Right.
Read on. Okay.
So yeah, just trying to tidy stuff up. I think at this point I was sitting on the fence about what I wanted to do next, because this is rather like a large bug which needed to be fixed. Bear turns up.
Do you like my rifle?
Start killing it.
Oh, I like my rifle.
The problem is, because multiple of my units are now entangled in things, I can't actually move a lot of people to support my frontline fighters, which is really annoying. This is also the point I realise that he's still entangled by the Ent's ability, so I'm not totally happy anymore. I'm rather quite frustrated. Yeah, I've figured out by this point that there's a pretty big bug. He gets healed by the Knight Sorcerer. Now he can't move. I can't pull units out of the way to. I can't pull units out of the way to make him able to get out, which is really annoying, because that's what I normally do. So at this point, I'm just like fairly pissed off.
The hell?
And you can't like, it's rather understandable, to be honest. Through no fault of my own, like, that guy's now ensnared, so he can't move. Through no fault of my own, I end up like losing units because of a bug. Because that guy normally wouldn't have died. I would have been able to pull him out. And now he's entangled, so I've literally got 3 units now that can move on the map. And I'm just like really salty.
Do you need my
I know it's
staff?
not a good thing to be salty, but this was rather like a nasty bug. And it was one of those creeping bugs, the ones that get worse as time goes on, rather than it just being annoying straight off the bat. So around this point I sort of just have enough. I just look at it and think, I've had enough, and I'm literally just going to exit the battle and get this bug fixed. Now, I'll be glad to tell you all that the developers worked with lightning efficiency and have now fixed the bug, so that when we come back on Monday, we will be able to redo this battle, and I'll be able to show you my tactics for actually catching a dryad, which is going to be really cool. It's unfortunate. I don't like to do what I did, which is quit in a battle and like reload, but I wouldn't have lost that dwarf unit. I would have been able to pull units out of the way, he would have been able to run past, and I would have charged with another unit and he would have been safe. But that's just how the bug is. As usual, if you've liked, please press the like button, press the subscription button, and I shall see you all next time, folks. Bye.